The hardest part about doing online business days is keeping people's attention. As the online landscape becomes more and more competitive, it's even more vital for us to pick more intentionally the business models that we go after and be weary of not chasing gimmicks or just fads that build businesses that actually don't really serve us for many years to come. If done intentionally right, this can yield us having businesses that not only builds a loyal customer base, but turn those customers into raving fans that buy from us time and time again. Or better yet, have our existing customers promote us for free. That's a crazy thought nowadays. Like getting people to give us free marketing. Yeah, it's not really a thing as much anymore. This business model that I'm about to reveal is something that business owners aren't doing at all, or they're just not doing it correctly. If you're a current online business owner and you actually already have a proof of concept for your products, like people are already buying your stuff, then this will be especially for you because this will just add fuel to the fire of your existing business model. It would turn this shop that had 9,000 sales into, say, 50,000 sales, or this shop that has already gotten 16,000 sales into probably around 80,000 sales for the same time period, or this shop that has had over 1,500 sales that could have easily been 10,000 sales. And not to mention a bunch of raving fans on the back end of those sales. So let me share this business model with you because it very well might surprise you and shed some light on how this can be done for most product lines. And what this is building a community-driven product line. Now you may be wondering, what the heck does that even mean? But don't worry, we're not only gonna go over our case study examples of how this can be implemented or created, but we're also gonna go over the 5-step simple process to achieving this for your business. When most people start selling online, whether it's a digital asset, a physical good, or even print on demand, the normal journey that people go on when they purchase from those stores is something like this. So a customer enters your store and they purchase a product. And on the back end of that product, they get some kind of product insert that either asks them to buy more things or puts them into some sort of list where then they get retargeted with new offers or sales or discounts for upcoming holidays. But that is pretty much it. And there's really no intentional thought into the holistic picture of that journey that someone goes on with your store in combination with the products that you're selling. But the game is going to change in 2025 and beyond. It is going to be more important for you now than ever to start actually building a meaningful relationship with your customers. So now let's go into the 5 steps of building what I call a community funnel for your business. Step number 1, picking a niche that you can build brand loyalty around. Step number 2 is finding a vehicle in which to sell your items. I personally like to sell via Etsy because it is like e-commerce for beginners, but we're gonna talk about that more a little bit later. Number 3 is deciding on a meaningful purpose or message behind the products that you're going to launch in your proven niche. Number 4 is choosing how you're going to build your community. And number 5 is supporting that community with incentives to be there in the first place. This worked especially well for my first company, which was a fast fashion jewelry line where we managed to cultivate a 150-person group of brand ambassadors that not only promoted us for free, but bought time and time again and made us free content. Can't forget about that one, UCG content. So now let's paint a real life case study example of how this 5-step process will actually manifest. So the first thing is picking a niche that historically will build brand loyalty on the back end. And the good thing is that I've seen this done or not done well across many different niches, whether you're selling bread, you're selling soap, you're selling a course creator asset bundle, digital download, whether you're selling sewing patterns or you're selling guides for therapists. The winning here is choosing a niche that historically cultivates people on the back end that congregate together or would like to congregate together. And just when you think that no one would want to join a group or a community about said thing, think twice, because if I could do this with fast fashion jewelry, you can probably do it with a lot of other things. Let's just put it that way. And if you're still having trouble coming up with an idea, go to ChatGPT. You can see here in ChatGPT, I typed in the prompt, what are product ideas I could sell on Etsy that I could build a loyal community on the back end of those sales? And guess what it did? It gave me a bunch of of ideas. Now, for this case study example, I'm gonna go with that bread guy. I'm gonna go with that bread listing. That is a single listing Etsy shop with one product offering, that is bread starter. And the reason I like the bread one is because I'm actually in a bread group right now and I'm paying per month to be in this bread group. So I want to give you a case study around something that I'm actually paying for. Now, the second is that we need to figure out the vehicle of which we want to sell our thing. So in this case, it's Etsy. I like to use Etsy because Etsy for me is like e-commerce for beginners. If your products are a good fit for Etsy, I would sell on Etsy, because if you're not a viral TikToker or content creator, then you're gonna have to get your traffic from somewhere. So if you're not doing those things, then you're gonna be paying for traffic, which is a lot harder than learning how to get traffic on a third-party platform like Etsy.com. Etsy for me was like my freshman year of business. To date, I've sold over $2.8 million on Etsy and is still the cheapest cost per acquisition of a customer that I've ever seen on the internet, compared to basically organic traffic if you are a content creator. But if you're not a content creator, again, it's a really good place to start out for the first time. Number 3 is creating a brand message or purpose that makes the product bigger or makes the thing that you're buying, actually have more meaning behind just the product. Especially with, in my example that we're going to talk about later, jewelry, right? Like jewelry doesn't seem like something that you would want to build a community out of, but if positioned properly, you'd be surprised. So imagine, in this case for bread, imagine if the listing actually had optimized photos showing the family, the history of the farm, all the organic ingredients, how they don't use seed oils, how they have gluten-free options. Imagine if that story was actually being told on the listing. Moreover, when they got their packaging, the packaging also was branded in a way that told that story. All of those little moments of truth contribute to the brand loyalty of the product. And number 4, we're gonna choose how we're gonna build our community. So in this case, which in this listing, they're not doing this at all, and this is why I think it's a huge opportunity. This listing, they have this title, but imagine if they turn this product and positioned it like this. So instead of just getting the starter, they're getting an entire bread baking kit where the starter comes with also a flour mix, and it comes with a membership, a course membership that teaches you how to actually use your starter. And again, I'm actually paying for something like this right now. Me and 80 other people. And so now you just turn a $9 sale into a $64 sale, and with the potential to build a true community on the back end. So now they get their package in the mail and there's a QR code on that package. They scan that package and that brings them to a login page to get inside of the course that now teaches them how to make that bread. But then wait a second, every single video offers them a call to action that says, would you like to upgrade your membership to get our official bread making community? And this is where step 5 comes in. Support that community with incentives to be there. And in this case, it's a paid version, so you make more money on the back end. So for $6.99 per month, I can upgrade my course membership to get the following: 2 new recipes per month for bagels, pizzas, cinnamon buns, all the things, plus exclusive giveaways, plus live monthly video call trainings, and a support chat group where I can ask them any questions at any time. So wait a second. Do you see how many micro commitments one sale on Etsy turned into? Commitment number 1, buying the kit. Commitment number 2, signed up for the free membership. Commitment number 3, upgraded into the paid membership. Maybe commitment number 4 got upsold into buying some of their own merch if they have their own aprons or shirts or pans or tools to bake the goods. And maybe commitment number 5, I join a contest where I tag them on Instagram showing them the process of how I baked my bread under their guidance. Point blank here, a customer that has made that many micro commitments to your brand after the initial sale is a pretty loyal customer. I can guarantee you they're not going to be looking for any other guidance or any other place to buy all of the tools necessary to bake that bread. Building a community funnel like this is not one size fits all. Like I already mentioned, the goal is that you're keeping in mind the 5 core attributes. There are many tools out there, free or paid, to set up this community aspect. Winning is that you're keeping the conversation going as long as possible and driving them into some sort of community center is absolutely key. So a really popular way that people are doing this right now is with a tool called School, but it's a really simple way to get people into a free membership and then upsell them into basically a paid membership. Remember, that was just one case study example of how you can build community on the back end, but I'm about to reveal how I did it for my own shop. But before I do that, I just want to share with you guys that if you are interested in building a serious Etsy business and learning how to set your business up for the best case scenarios to really achieve later 6 figures or even 7 figures on Etsy, I just launched my all-in Etsy masterclass. I was really uncomfortable with even promoting a course, mostly because I give away so much free information on this channel, and I was just uncomfortable with the idea of being a course guru. I don't know why, because I particularly am one that always buys courses, but I don't know, call it imposter syndrome. Now I realize, especially because you guys have been requesting so much, that people want more step-by-step guidance. They want to stop feeling overwhelmed by all the noise of the contradictory things that people say online. They want one ultimate source of truth. And so that is why I have compiled this masterclass that not only includes this 12-module series that takes you step-by-step what the best case scenario looks like for your Etsy business, plus there's additional bonuses. It includes a 1-year free membership to the first ever automated Etsy profit tracking tool, Profittree. It includes a 7-figure case study of my personal shop where I reveal not only my brand, but the products that made me multiple 6 figures, access to my all-in Shopify masterclass as well. It also includes a print-on-demand starter course, a free SKU generator tool, and an Etsy pricing calculator tool. If you want to be a part of what I really am hoping turns into the most powerful and supportive Etsy community that has ever existed, click the link in the description and sign up today. So for example, with my jewelry line, the niche was fast fashion jewelry. Number 2, we optimized our Etsy storefront with our brand messaging, which was all about self-love, positive thinking, and body positivity. So our packaging, our messaging, our images, all the moments of truth around our shop conveyed that message, which on the back end built very loyal people that liked what we stood for. Number 4, the way that we cultivated our community was in a Facebook group, and we, like I said, got over 150 brand ambassadors. And our incentive and the way that we supported our ambassadors was by giving them a lot of different things, including free giveaways. They were getting exclusive access to first drops. They had say in new product launches, or they could give us feedback on what they wanted to see in our store. They had an exclusive discount code that they could use on every sale. And if I didn't already say this, they could participate in exclusive contests where they could win free product, which basically meant they could go tag us on Instagram, make us user-generated content where we would get then more free exposure on social media in exchange for some more free goodies. Guys, if you have any questions about this strategy, make sure you comment down below. All right, hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video.